Akasha field guidance. Okay. When I first heard about Vicky being able to really navigate the Akasha realms or the Akasha field, I was like, what is that? Like, can you tell me more? And she's like, oh, a lot of other people talk about it as the Akashic Records, but this is different. And I was like, oh, the Akashic Records, being able to read that is something I've always wanted to be able to do, but it just felt so out of touch for me, especially in the phase of life in business where I was very more matter and knowing and just like everything has to make practical, logical sense. And this feels so far out. And how could someone like me, who's not super spiritual, or I didn't identify as that at the time, how can I, just a basic witch, tap into that? And so Vicky has made this something that I think is so approachable and yet really allows you to go into a whole new dimension.
I'm really glad you introduced it in that way, because way back in the day when I was a part of Lexi's program, Lexi, you asked me to like do a reading for you, right? And you were one of the like skeptical clients I'd ever had in my life. And it made me think, I actually need to not be the one who relays the information. I need my clients to figure this out for themselves, because it'll be a way more empowering process. So that was like the first seed that was planted for AFG, Akasha Field Guidance. Who knew? It was probably like 2015 or something,
That's
eons
so
ago.
funny. I love that. Yes.
So this modality is for practitioners who may or may not already be an intuitive coach or a psychic mentor, or even someone who just dabbles in the psychic arts but doesn't necessarily claim that to be the case. One, we're going to break down all the intuitive faculties and demystify how, like, I don't know, special air quote they might be, and like breaking down into the anatomy of the intuitive faculties and the practicalities of them all. That's a beautiful exploration, especially when it comes to how we get to be in the world via our intuitive faculties, like how we experience ourselves, other people, the connections that we have, relationships, all come down to really how our faculties let us know the information that we're receiving, not just from within, but around us as well. But the key for this, my primary driver for creating this, was that seed that was planted, Lexi. I'm no longer going to be the one who shares the intuitive information. I want each and every individual to be empowered to tap into their own Akasha energy, whether that's what's happening for them personally or what's happening around them. So the energy that we can all tune into, whether we are conscious of it or not, we all have the ability to understand that, to perceive, transmit it, at least translate or understand it so we can put it into practical application. So that was the key. Practitioners are the guide. The client is the intuit. Practitioners still intuit and offer insight with permission if they are asked. Empowering. This is like next level intuitive coaching. I don't think it exists yet. And if it does, I'm so stoked, because this is what we need more of.
This is probably it might be my second favorite course, I think. I just remember going through, Vicky and I did coaching together, like privately. I don't even remember when anymore. It was like end of 2020 maybe. And I just remember the very first time that we did an Akasha session like this, I was like, oh, you really need to teach this. Like, you have to. And so in conversation about how we were gonna, or bring this about, I just knew that this was going to be something that set us apart, really. I mean, there just isn't anything really like this out there. So I was really excited for all of our students to dig in, because it's just so good. It's so good. And Vicky, you always bring the knowledge in such a unique way. And I just I love it. It doesn't matter that I know about intuition and blah blah blah. Like, it's the way that you teach always brings new insight for sure. So it doesn't matter even if you're well versed in intuitive coaching or intuitive guidance or connecting with spirit guides, there's going to be something in here for you for sure.
One last thing, even if you didn't want to be an intuitive practitioner or guide people on these experiences where they tap into their own intuition, the simple, like foundational basics of Akasha field guidance is to establish heart coherence and also quantum entrainment. So that in and of itself, if you are any practitioner practicing any modality, that takes your practice and your rapport, your relationship with anybody, not just your clients, to a place where there is absolute radical responsibility on your behalf, but also ecological responsibility to ensure that you are practicing with integrity when that is in place. Yeah.